I'm not here to teach you what to think. I'm here to teach you how to think. All right, we were at cater to the little girl. So to reiterate what was said before, that's one of the types of women that will date you when it comes to cater to the little girl. The woman who is seeking the father figure and will superimpose that on you. It's a time-limited thing. If you're with a girl like that, understand it's a time-limited thing. And let's say you're dating her and it turns out, it's 5 or 6 years later and you're still dating her. And you met her when she was 23 and now she's 29. If you have no intentions of building a long-term future with her, you have to set her free. You have to let her go. Because she deserves the opportunity to find someone she can build a life with before her biological clock is up.
So basically the second type is someone who's looking for real love too, right?
That's right.
Okay.
So the first type of girl is the one who's trying to superimpose her father figure needs on you. The second type of woman is the one that's open to real love, but she still wants the little girl in her catered to. When she's very upset, she wants a hug. She wants to know that everything's going to be all right. This is one of the challenges that you as older men are going to have in dating younger women. How to know the difference between a girl who, because she had a poor relationship with her own father or didn't have a father figure, is trying to force you into that role, and when a girl simply needs the child in her catered to because that's an emotional need of all women. For those of you who have studied pimps and pimp psychology, you'll notice that a number of the prostitutes will refer to the pimp as daddy. It's because of this emotional need. A lot of those women didn't have a proper father figure, so they refer to the pimp as daddy. You have a question?
You were saying that sometimes women will superimpose an image of her sort of ideal father onto you. So is that just a matter of targeting the right women, or can you avoid her doing that, or can you stop her from doing that?
Okay, well, the first thing you have to do is that when you're meeting a new woman, what are the questions you might ask her if you feel that she's relationship material? If you're just looking for a one-night stand or a sex friend or whatever, it's not even going to be an issue. If you're looking for someone for a long-term relationship, you got to find out what kind of a relationship she had with her father and see if she's going to recreate some of the behavior patterns that she's used to with her father. So if she's used to being abandoned by her father, she may try to get you to do things to abandon her in order to build up the love in the relationship, because that's how she associates love in her psychology. Unfortunately, though, you're dealing with somebody who is emotionally dysfunctional. Because although that's the way she interprets love, she's trying to get you to do that. She's basically trying to cause more problems in the relationship than it's worth in order to create a deeper bond. My advice is, if you meet a girl like that for a potentially long-term relationship, stay away. I know how to avoid them. And the way you avoid them is you set whatever boundaries you're going to set, and you stick to them. By setting whatever boundaries that you have in a relationship, when that type of dysfunctional behavior comes up, you will be able to disqualify these women from being in your life. There really are enough healthier women out there that you don't need to get yourself all emotionally screwed up. We have another question.
So how can you tell the difference between when they try to reenact what their father does, or when they do the opposite, where they try to rebel?
What are some of the signs? The only one that I could think of based on the women that I've dated and then broke up with really fast would be if the longer she's with you, the more of a child she acts like. It's called age regression, where when an adult, when they spend time with another person, starts acting so much like a child that they become incapable of making even basic decisions. In a lot of abusive relationships where a man is being physically and aggressively abusive to a woman, usually this emotional need is at play because the woman is going through an age regression. She gets around the guy and all of a sudden she becomes this childlike adult who has no concept of control, no concept of proper behaviors. If you've ever met a woman, and I know at least 2 women in my own life who have done this, where they seemed like an intelligent, normal woman and you can't figure out what happened to them. They dated this one guy, and the next thing you know, this guy is getting her involved in all kinds of crime. And you're trying to figure out what the hell happened that would turn a really good person into a bad person. It's the fact that when she was with a guy who, through addressing some of the emotional needs, maybe being dominant, maybe recreating some type of an emotional dysfunction with her, she ends up losing the ability to think like an adult. And she regresses to almost a childlike person. Whenever I've dated a girl who got like that, where the drama just got ridiculous, and I said, no, stop, like, aren't you thinking? Where I could not rely on her to mind the store when I wasn't around. It usually comes down to the idea that she has so regressed into a childlike state when I'm around that it's not just my job to lead the relationship. I now have an obligation because she can no longer do it. This actually affects women who are very power hungry in a lot of high-end careers because they're so on all the time that when they finally are with a guy that they can just let go and be the little girl, they take it to the other extreme. But if they take it too far to that extreme, that's when you know that you're dealing with somebody. And that's the one sign that I do know of. That's the one sign that you can say, wow, she's taking her ideal image of what a father is supposed to be, superimposing it on the man she's with, and then completely reverts to being a little kid.